One of the most influential documents in American history is the Declaration of Independence. How much do you know about it? Every year on July 4th, we celebrate the Declaration of Independence and the freedoms it gives us as American citizens. Today, as we look at the Declaration, I want you to put yourself in the place of the Founding Fathers. What events led up to the writing of this document? What effect did it have on our history, and how does it still impact us today? The colonists and Founding Fathers did not just decide one day to declare independence from Britain. As we have been studying the road to revolution, you know some of these events and reasons that the colonists were angry with the king. They had many grievances against Britain. A grievance is a complaint or resentment against an unjust or unfair act. Have you ever had a grievance against something or someone? Have you ever wondered why you can't use your cell phone in school? Have you ever been upset with a grade you received on an assignment? Have you ever gotten grounded for something you said to your little sister? I want you to think of 2 or 3 times that you had a complaint or a grievance at something or someone that you thought was unfair. An example of a grievance in my life. I live in what's called a townhouse association, which means that there's a group of people, known as a board, that make decisions on what's best for everyone that lives in the neighborhood. There's been a problem with dogs in the neighborhood. I have a dog. They passed new laws saying that you can't have dogs anymore, which of course I do, and they said we don't have to get rid of them, but we no longer can have dogs. I thought this policy was very unfair, because it's just one person that is making the problem for everybody else. I didn't agree with it. Instead of sitting and complaining, what should I do? I want to make a difference. I want it to change. Looking over the 2 or 3 things that you wrote down as complaints or grievances, I want you to pick one. At what point in time, or what happened to you that made you feel that you were being treated unfair? Is there anything that you've already done to address this grievance? Did you tell somebody about it? Did you explain why you felt it was unfair? And what happened afterwards? Who decides if laws and rules are fair? Is it you? Is it me, the teacher? The government? Your parents? Is there anything that you can do to try to resolve this grievance on your own? After thinking a long time about the board of directors of my townhouse association and their new rule about dogs, I ended up writing a letter. It's called a letter of complaint or a grievance letter. In my letter, I made sure to state what my problem was, why I thought it was unfair, and what I wanted done about it. There are many different ways that you can address your grievances. What'd you come up with for yours? As you look at your grievance and think about how would you solve it, think about a couple different things. Why should people take you serious? How is your language going to demonstrate who you are? Are you going to be polite and respectful? Or are you going to use curse words and other strong language? Is there anything that you've done already to fix it? Or should you just demand it because you want it? Would you be willing to stand up for what you believe in, even though some people may think it's wrong? In comparison to what the colonists went through, our grievances may seem small. However, the process that we walked through is very similar. First, we identified what is the complaint. Second, why do we feel that it is unfair or unjust? 3, the specific reasons of why it's unfair. 4, what we've already done to try to solve this on our own. And 5th, what we want to happen. The colonists finally realized that everything they had done was not working and they needed to take a stand. The Declaration of Independence was written. After many failed attempts at trying to reason with the king and get their voices heard in Parliament, the colonists realized that the Declaration was needed. The Declaration of Independence is based on a variety of ideas and rights, that the people have natural rights that cannot be taken away. On July 4, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was formally adopted. The United States was acting independent and free of British rule. The Declaration of Independence is written in 5 parts. The first, the preamble. This is the introduction, which states the purpose of the document. The second, statements of belief. This is where the colonists listed the natural rights that they felt should not be taken away by the government. Third, the list of grievances. These are the complaints against the king, a specific list of what King George had done to the colonists that they felt was unfair. 4. Prior attempts to address grievances. This is where the colonists said what they had already tried and what didn't work. Lastly is the Declaration of Independence and the signatures. This is where the colonists declared themselves free and independent of British rule. The founding fathers that had signed the declaration were taking a big risk as they were committing treason. As we watch the following video, a reading of the Declaration of Independence, I want you to think to yourself about the 5 different sections. See if you can identify each piece. At the end of the video, we will be discussing the discussion questions on the back of your worksheet.